which side of the center are you on?
I doubt that Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal can do any good to this nation.
Why did you opt for this Rajya Sabha seat?
It's an election. And in an election, either you win or you lose.
But you're not used to losing.
And I'm a good loser.
Somewhere I feel you're both a creator and a destroyer.
Subhash Chandra was not even known in the corner shop of Panwala shop till the Z was created. But it is that box which has created Subhash Chandra, not that Subhash Chandra has created.
Welcome to Duologue, Subhashji. Thank you very much. You know, I have always been waiting to ask you this question. We all grapple with this existential question, who am I? As far as you're concerned, I can tell you for sure that the whole world grapples with the question that who is Dr. Subhash Chandra? You had been an enduring enigma. Have you answered the question to yourself, who is Dr. Subhash Chandra?
Well, thank you very much, Barun, first of all, having me on your show. And namaskar to your audiences. This question, when people say this, and your question naturally is based on the feedback and based on your experience with me and whosoever you might have talked to about Subhash Chandra, comes and arises out of simple thing. My belief is that Subhash Chandra is a very simple, straight individual. And in today's world, it's very difficult and hard for anybody to believe that such a simple and straight person can become so successful or so controversial or at the same time so talked about. So there's nothing there with that who is Subhash Chandra, simple person.
So the context was that you wore various hats and you have excelled and reached the pinnacle in almost all the roles that you have performed. Business, of course, we will come to that. Let's start with politics. You were very close to the late Sanjay Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. During 81 and 87, your business flourished under the Congress aegis. And then you were known to be a staunch supporter of RSS. India Today cover story had said so. At the same time, the Tehelka incident happened, and your network was the first network which carried the entire tape.
Small gift for the New Year party. New Year party fund, 1 lakh rupees.
And I think, if I remember it correctly, across all channels, including entertainment. And then, following that, you have been known to be quite close to current dispensation. The Prime Minister launching your book, your Rajya Sabha seat was backed by BJP. So which side of the center are you on as far as politics is concerned?
I've been a RSS Swayamsevak right from childhood. And my relationship with the Gandhis, as you have asked, were there, and I never hidden from them that I am a RSS Swayamsevak. But they were relationship of a friendship. There's nothing extraordinary about it. And that too happened during when they were not in power. When you do some assistance to people when they are not in power, when they are not at the peak of their career or business or profession, those things stay for long-term relationship. Coming to Tehelka, and that is a story which was misunderstood by the then dispensation of late Bajpayee ji, because Tehelka organization were to release that in any case after 2 hours. And we thought that, and we warned them, the dispensation, that this is coming. And certain advices were also given. But somebody in between didn't follow that advice, and that disaster happened. So the current dispensation, I feel, and we supported them, we still support them, because I feel they are doing a good job for the country.
If I remember that you were a supporter through your network, that's the time I was with you, for Anna Hazare's movement. How do you see the role of Aam Aadmi Party now? And especially Mr. Kejriwal, the way he has evolved from an RTI activist, that's the time you introduced him to me, from there to Chief Minister of Delhi. Now he's aspiring to be the face of a challenger for 2024 general election and pitting himself up against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, aspiring to do so. So what's your views on Mr. Kejriwal now?
See, I knew Arvind Kejriwal as an RTI activist. And I supported him fully. And when Mr. Anna Hazare and they did that movement of anti-corruption, naturally any right-thinking Indian, more so an responsible Indian, a nationalist, and a media owner would want to see the country definitely corruption-free. The day he told me personally that he wants to enter politics, that was the last day I met him, till today. I have no contribution to make to his being Chief Minister of Delhi. And also, I don't think that he is a challenger to Mr. Narendra
No, he's
Modi.
aspiring.
Everybody aspires. In India, there are 140 crore people. Everybody wants to become Prime Minister of this country. So he's one of them. That's the way I look at it. I doubt that Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal can do any good to this nation. I will stop at that.
You'll stop at that. I was about to ask, why do you think so? Right. You once advised your business associate, Mr. Mukesh Patel, and if I may read from what you have said, you're quoting you directly, joining politics or being too close to a political leader is not a good idea, you said. You're spending money to buy a master, and then you have to toe the line of your political boss. So then why did you opt for this Rajya Sabha seat? I mean, it seems that it is a stepping stone for you to get into full-time politics. Is that a right?
No, it's not right. My advice to my late friend Mukesh Patel was in a very different context, because he borrowed money to support a particular party or a particular individual, the kind of founder of a party. And he was going very, very close to him. And that person was also my friend, late friend. And I have no hesitation and I have nothing to hide. It was late Balasaheb Thackeray. Very great person. I liked him, I respected him. We were good friends. We would occasionally have a glass of wine together. But I still advise Mukesh Patel not to get too close, because that was a different dispensation. My joining into Rajya Sabha was only a student inside me always tells me to do new things, experiment new things. And I wanted to experience how the legislations are made, how the parliament functions, everything. And again, I didn't get close to any party. I went to Rajya Sabha as an independent individual from my home state.
But backed by BJP?
Of course, you have to be Rajya Sabha member.
Has to be backed.
Has to be backed by some party or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did the BJP didn't back you this time, the son of the soil from Haryana?
No, they did back me. They advised me to go to my roots, which are from Rajasthan in any case.
But not Haryana, where you are more known to be associated with.
Yeah, but my roots are anyway from Rajasthan. From Rajasthan, my forefathers shifted to Haryana. They told me I went there, no harm in experimenting new things.
So what happened? How did it go wrong?
Nothing. It's the election. And in an election, either you win or you lose.
But you're not used to losing many battles.
You have to taste losses also.
So it's like,
And I'm a good loser.
so it's like,
I can tell you that.
yes. So it's like life and politics. It's a zero-sum game. In 2016, you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and the table turned in 2022. It's basically,
It happens.
the zero-sum.
Yeah.
How do you see the political scenario in our country today? You know, I personally feel that in any democracy, there should be a strong opposition. That's the fundamental of democracy. Do you feel the situation is as such that the opposition is significant enough? And if not, then how does it span out for our country?
See, I'll have to answer this question, Barun, in a little bit longer.
Sure.
The country's situation changed on the day when late Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. Till that time, it was a good, stable, strong political scenario at the center. There was a Congress party ruling, there was a strong opposition in terms of BJP and things like that. The biggest damage, apart from country losing a son of the soil, Rajiv Gandhi, country had gone through more than 20 years of coalition government, which damaged the country immensely. And I think in the coalition politics, the country has gone, if not more, at least 20 years. Because there are weak governments, those who have self-motivated goals, selfish goals, they exploit the weak governments and they get things done which should not be done. And those things happen, we all know, and history will tell. And now this full 360-degree cycle has turned. And on the day of May, in the month of May 2014, is what I have read. England's Guardian newspaper, a senior journalist lady, have written that India has got its freedom now and not in 1947. So we are now going through that phase. And I'm sure opposition will find its feet and there would be strong government as well as there might be strong opposition.
Oh, that's
And strong opposition is good for the democracy.
I know, but that is what is missing. I think if I don't see that
It's
in
a
the
cycle.
horizon.
It's a cycle which takes place. Everything takes its time.
You've been in the business of communication. If that is a communication challenge or not, I mean, if somebody has to ask you that, do you see? Does Congress need a overhauling and a revival? And if yes, is there a prescription that you would like to offer them? That this is the way
I'm not competent enough to advise a political party. As probably a political person may not be able to advise me how to run a communication media company.
You know, to my mind, you possibly are one of the greatest visionaries that India has ever seen. Because I put it that way, when I spoke to you earlier, I said that you have started all the businesses, be it 24 hours entertainment channel, 24 hours news channel, in distribution, city cable, dish TV, packaging business, the amusement park, obviously lottery, and then ICL. I was there with you on the ICL Redefined. So you have come up with all these ideas. You're the first one in India, and hence you started all the businesses with 100% market share. So I had always been intrigued to know that how do these ideas pop up in your mind? And at what point in time, when you're having sleepless nights, how do they appear in your mind? And then how do you go about executing them?
Well, to tell you a little bit that I started 12 new and pioneering businesses in India. 6 of them succeeded, 6 of them failed.
Okay.
Failure is part of new pioneering effects. The remaining 6 which succeeded also, most of the people said they will not work, they will fail. But they succeeded because of the persistence and the continuing to believe in the concepts and ideas. How do you think of those things? How do you come to think of those things? It's simple. If you keep your ears and eyes open while you are meeting people, while you are driving, while you are at the airport or a railway station or in a function, you see people talk. There are issues, there are problems, there are unmet demand, there are things which are society needs, which are not available. If you can think of in that what is the problem statement, then you can find solution to that. And this is what now our Indian startup ecosystem have understood. Its language itself is that. What is the problem statement and what is the solution? So that is what I used to do, nothing new.
Oh, right. So you've lived always for identifying new opportunities and trying to see whether the solution can be provided.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard you saying that you've said that I've made some incorrect decisions. I've made some incorrect bids. You also have said my obsession of not walking away from the situation has made me bleed up to 5,000 crore. Then you talked about Dish TV acquiring Videocon, advising Mr. Jawahar Goel about that and then recreating. So overall, do you see the journey has turned out to be the way you wanted?
The journey has been much more than successful than I ever dreamt of. I never wanted or I never designed that a person from city of Hisar, a young person at the age of 17 will come to Delhi and do all kind of crazy things and a lot of new businesses. I never expected, never dreamt of, or I kept working one after the other. But at the same time, I definitely followed one thing very clearly. I lived in that present.
Mm-hmm.
At this moment, I have this business to do, I'm doing that. I'm concentrating on that. Once that is either successful or failed, if it has failed, I've closed down many businesses.
No heart attached, no sentiment attached.
No. Business is business. There is no sentiment attached to business. So to complete this, then naturally, I made mistakes. I made mistake of entering into infrastructure business, which was completely different. And unfortunately, I hired wrong people for that. Business was not wrong, but I hired wrong people and believed them, trusted them. So, and made mistake and paid price. But as I said earlier in one question, that I am a good loser. I have lost, I have paid everybody, I am happy, I am still here, smiling.
Right. That wrong people, you hired wrong people. I have quite a few questions in that regard. I'll come to that. But before that, there was another point I wanted to bounce off with you. Why do you think the whole world always would have had his eyes on your businesses? And you have been throttling so many takeover bids. Like, as you rightly said, that you are, in those days, you're known to be a BD smoking rice trader. So you first befriended none other than Rupert Murdoch. And then you also stood up against him and said that India is not for sale. So why have people been so much enticed to come and take over your businesses?
Well, लड़की सुंदर होती है तो उसके पीछे बहुत लड़के आते हैं. If you have successful business, people will want to have that business. Today, Z Entertainment Enterprise Limited, I don't know, whatever is the market capitalization of that business, maybe 30,000-40,000 crore. But I have mentioned that in my public statements that this business cannot be recreated. And I still believe it cannot be recreated even with 10 lakh crore of investment. It got created. And I don't say that it is my creation. It was the timing, it was the right opportunity, there was a space, it got created. So who will not want to have that 10 lakh crore ka business in 40,000, 30,000, 50,000 crore?
You recently, in this Z Entertainment, with regard to that, you called me up and said that Barun, Z ko bachana hai. I mean, I obviously said that quite rightly, that I'm too insignificant for that. But what was the issue? Who were you saving Z from?
The people, those who wanted to grab the Z
No,
Entertainment
but that's
Enterprise
Invesco
Limited.
was coming in between the merger, right?
Invesco and the Invesco's supporter behind the scene.
So what
They
happened?
wanted to take over the business. And
they
we
were-
wanted to save that, and we have succeeded to save.
But you saved, but Sony is still a multinational, right? It's still not an Indian
Sony
company.
is, we have merged with each other. We are partners.
But they have the majority share.
They have majority, but doesn't matter.
Usually, you were very against multinationals. You wore your Indianness up your sleeves. But in this
But
case,
Japanese are very different.
Japanese,
They are like Indians.
So you have a problem with the Western world, and I think
I don't say Western world, particular individuals or particular kind of corporations.
Your shareholding has dropped from 41% plus to 4% in Zeal. And Invesco also, after objecting the merger, after standing in between the merger and the company, had now agreed to that and are supporting it and had been selling their shares also. So have they lost their faith in the conglomerate?
I don't know about that because I think they sold the companies, their shares to someone long back. And that someone, because they could not take over, so they have lost interest. They are not investors. They wanted to have control. So they have lost, and that's why probably they are selling. But we will again increase our stake to more than 25%.
Oh, really? Oh, that's very encouraging. What about the double A's? Have the Ambanis made a takeover bid of Z Entertainment ever?
I will not like to comment.
You'll not like to comment. Would you like to comment on the Adani's taking over NDTV? I mean, there's another large conglomerate is now going to own a news network. Does that augur well for our news industry? More and more investment will come. Or it goes against somewhere the fourth estate status of media will get compromised.
See, my view have been known about this for a long time. When we had Mr. Priyaranjan Das Munshi as our I&B minister, I had told him that what you are issuing license after license for news channels is wrong. Because news channels are even news network, especially video news network, are even more dangerous and can cause more harm than a bank causing a harm when bank fails and people's deposit gets vanished. The news channels, especially video, get people watching it, listening it in their own languages, sitting in all remote control of the country, can influence, can change the feelings, their thought process can be altered by the news channels. So they should not have been issued as many licenses. I'm sorry to say, today there are many news channels which are in front of it seems somebody else, in the back of it there are some other people. There are people, those who own news channels, those who want to keep the police away from them. Just they want to keep the news channel visiting card, so the police keeps away from them. So this is not good. As far as the NDTV takeover by Mr. Adani is concerned, I don't know what is the cause, reason for him to get into it. So I cannot answer that. But if I was that big a corporate, probably I would not go into a news channel.
Yes, I fully agree with you. The news, audiovisual medium, it has a great influence on people's mind, especially when the literacy rate of our people are not that great. But I personally feel that it's not only news channels, like for instance, entertainment channels as well. You know,
Yeah, they also make a difference.
huge, because
They-
whatever you communicate through storytelling, that has a long-lasting
Yes,
impact.
that's why I call them as a soft power.
Soft power. So is cinema. You know,
Yes.
I often say that, you know, in our earlier days, all the heroes would chase the heroines, misbehave with them, and the heroine will fall for them. That's how illiterate mass would grow up to see that I'm chasing the woman, he's not falling for me, and then he would misbehave. So it's a soft power all
Yeah.
across. You know, many businesses around the time when you started out had leveraged the loopholes in the policies and laws. Like, how do you rate yourself and your companies in the scale of ethics? Did you ever use the loopholes? And if you have used the loopholes, does it ever cross the line of that Lakshman Rekha of ethical way of doing business?
I don't know, it is for somebody else to judge and say that for me, whether we are ethical or we are not.
So by you yourself?
Myself, I say very openly that when I started Z Entertainment, which used to be Z Telefilms in the beginning, it was illegal. And it was a criminal offense to own to telecast from a foreign satellite television signals into the country was completely illegal and a criminal offense under the Indian Telegraph Act. And it remained so for 5 years till the laws were made in India.
So what would be your advice for entrepreneurs of future? Is there a distinct Lakshman Rekha for the line of doing?
Those were the days, Barun, when it was a controlled economy, a license Raj, many things you could not do. I mean, I do remember after Z, Agrani, the first private sector satellite I wanted to launch.
Yes.
And Agrani satellite, again, satellite ownership was also restricted for public sector. We got the government of India to change the policy and allow the private sector. ISRO recommended that, and Mr. Bajpayee government changed the policy, and that's the first one that private sector ownership of satellite was allowed in India. Today, there are not many restrictions. Economies have opened up. Still, there is a long way. Our bureaucracy still have the British mindset. Hopefully, that will still vanish. It's getting weakened day by day. I don't think the new generation have to cut corners and go find loopholes in the policy and do things.
At times, these policies, I mean, I'm not talking about the policies for running businesses or coming into businesses. At times, the situation also compels you to take the wrong route. Like, for instance, many times you'll see that in a particular part of a road, there should have been an obvious cut. It's not there. And people are compelled to take the wrong route and go against the traffic. So at times, the policies are not conducive for businesses. Maybe they're conducive for people to find out loopholes in that.
We as businessmen are thriving in those wrong policies.
Yeah, some work, some doesn't work. As you said, that finally, I am a firm believer of the fact that it's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Finally, you will lose whatever you gain not at the right way. Yeah. So what next for Dr. Subhash Chandra as far as business is concerned? Do you still have that fire in you? I sometimes wonder what drives you. Money? I'm sure that it's no. Recognition, where you are, it doesn't make a difference for you. You don't care. Achievement, if you achieve something now, I'm sure that it'll be a drop in the ocean. So what still drives you? You mentioned about coming up with absolutely new business. I think you're exploring metaverse, the domain of metaverse also.
Mayaverse. I call it Mayaverse.
You call it Mayaverse. So what drives you to come up at 71 also to come up with new things?
I'm always a person who enjoys creativity, enjoys new things. That's what keeps me going.
That's what keeps you going. And
I will keep doing that. And keep learning.
So to me, somewhere I feel you're both a creator and a destroyer, like a Lord Shiva and Brahma in one. You created all these businesses, but finally, most of the businesses either it has lost out on the way, even the successful one, you've lost control, or in some other, you've lost the leadership. Do you, like you are a creator, it was your own creation, do you also hold yourself responsible some way?
No business which was successful has been destroyed.
Has been
ownership is a very different thing. The Z Entertainment Enterprise Limited or Z Media or Dish TV or City Cable or any of the businesses which I have created will never die.
Not die, but the control you always wanted.
It doesn't matter control. You will never lose. You will never have a control. Ek din to khali haath jana hai. So I am not a control freak. I want to create things.
So you are happy even if it is under somebody else's control, if it's flourishing.
Yes, yes. And if something is not successful, you should not hesitate in closing down. That you may be called destroyer. And some of my colleagues, if I hire wrong person, I don't hesitate in sacking. So that's a destroyer. If that is your definition, yes, I am a destroyer.
No, that's not my definition. But employees definitely, they form a significant pillar for any business.
Of course.
Right? You seem to carry a demeanor that suggests that you don't trust your employees by and large. Is that
I don't
true?
think so.
You don't think so?
Few exceptions.
Few exceptions.
That is, if you need to check, assess that, anybody has to assess that. See my drivers, see my personal attendants, see my cooks, personal thing. They are with me for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, but that's a... So that's another...
They are also employees.
So that's also a very interesting...
And there are people, employees in the organization, those who are 30, 40, 50 years. People have retired from this organization.
So that's a very interesting insight. Then is the problem with your direct report is your inner circle? Is that you have always landed up with people who are not trustworthy or who didn't stick along with you?
No. As I said, there are few exceptions. That's all.
There are few exceptions. Okay, let's say a person like Rajat Sharma or Sudhi Chaudhary, their brand was built as a media personality in your organization. And then they went out and continued with their brand, continued leveraging their brands and doing well. So do you feel that it would have been better for your cause if they had stayed back?
No, not necessarily. They would not have grown. And I wish them good luck. I have always wished everyone to good luck, whosoever has gone with pleasure or forcefully or on their own. I have never wished anybody ill. And so is for these people.
Okay, so that's the journalist side of it. On the business side, there have industry veterans like Vijay Jindal, Sandeep Goel, late Pradeep Guha worked with you. But none of them had a very long tenure with you. So, worldwide, if I look at successful businesses, some of the times, all of them were CEOs. I had been a CEO in your company. So normally people let the CEO work and get used to the new organization, and then they start delivering. It's a long tenure, 5 to 10 years. But the tenures of CEOs who are not the journalists have not been that long in most of your organizations.
See, the media business is a very, very different business. If you look at media families, they mostly get separated very soon. So the media business is such where it touches everybody's life, whether it is a wife in the family, son in the family, daughter in the family, father in the family or anything. And same is the CEOs for media businesses. A person, I will not name it, you are naming people, but I will not name it. The person in Bombay started, he was not known in the circles except for his classmates and things like that. And not getting one invitation for a party in the evening a month, starts getting, when Z's brand is there, starts getting 10 invitations every evening, 30 days in a month. So if they go out of their mind, better they leave. So media business is a very different thing. We have had, for example, SL Packaging, my CEOs have remained 20 years, 30 years. Nobody less than 10 years. Media business is definitely very different. And it is very, very, so to speak, people start believing that they are extraordinary superhumans. Whereas not just because they are CEO of a media company become superhuman. People start believing them. Oh, you are so great. You have done this. You have done that. The fact is not that. And I could see when, and I was quick enough to part company. And that's the reason that certain people projected about Z, that Z will not survive in this competition. This was a prediction about 18 years back, 17 years back. But it has survived. It has stayed and it has stayed strong and will continue to remain strong.
So basically, is there a dearth of honest professionals in media business?
No, I won't say.
So the professionals come and then
I won't say. It's only that when person starts believing differently, when person starts believing what others want them to believe. I mean, my answer is many times, oh, Subhaji, you're great, you have created Z. I said, no, I have not. Subhash Chandra was not even known in the corner shop of Panwala shop till the Z was created. But it is that box which has created Subhash Chandra, not that Subhash Chandra has created. That humility gets out of the way from sometimes people, professional people in the media company.
So an honest professional from other industry can come to media.
Of course.
And then because of this success and the glams and glitter, they lose track.
They can hang themselves very quickly.
I'm sure that's a lesson for a lot of aspiring media CEOs who are watching.
I hope they take that, yes.
I first came to know about you, I think I've just mentioned, from a cover story of a business magazine in the early 90s. But I can safely say that even today, a lot of media professionals like me, they still idealize you, right? Entertainment television, Z, and Subhash Chandra. I think these three are almost synonymous. Your success and achievements are well known. It will go down in the history of media entertainment, definitely, not only in India, but across the world. Yet, you would have made mistakes. Would you like to share with me some of the mistakes that you have learned from, and you would not like the new generation who try to follow in your footsteps to commit those mistakes?
Well, I'm humbled with your comments, Barun. There are mistakes, but I don't keep count of that because, as I said...
The biggest one which may keep you awake at night, it's a learning for us or for many media professionals. I think you've often been said to your colleagues that it is far better to learn from mistakes than from successes. That's some philosophy that you always advise.
I followed, and I think that was not a mistake. That was a good thing that I learned the, as I call, art of tough love. Art of tough love is, if I can't get along with you as Barun, I should have that art to tell you, my dear friend, it is better we part company. That's known as art of tough love, which I think has kept our media group intact and keep going. On the other hand, certainly we have made lots of mistakes. I will say, but not that I want to regret those mistakes because I practice living in present. Because you might have heard me saying many times, I repeat again on your show, bhutkal vyakul kare, ya bhavishya bharmaye, vartaman mein jo jiye to jeena aa jaye. So I have learned the art of living, by living in present. But for example, we created a second, when Z TV was successful as an entertainment channel, we created another channel called LTV. One of my colleagues, CEO, closed it down. I allowed him to close down. That was my mistake. I should not have let him do that. So these are some kind of mistakes which one remembers, but no regrets in life.
Thank you very much, sir, for being on my show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I wish you all the best for your future endeavor. And we would keep learning from you.
Thank you very much and wish you all the best. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you.